Okay, before you install the intake itself, I want you to take a look at the actual opening. This is an F panel that we bought from GM, and it's obviously not in the car, but you'll have a hole here and a hole over here, and those are the two places that you're going to mount our airbox to. This has to go. So you loosen it up with a 10mm wrench, you take it and put it somewhere where the sun doesn't shine, and then you can go ahead and start your installation. Okay, to summarize then, what we've done here is we've taken the dome head bolt out completely, and we are using or reusing the two stock bolts, this one and that one, to mount our system. This is not used. If you try to have this in here, it's going to interfere with everything. And then of course you've got, this is a free-floating system the way we deliver them now. It has no screws here or there, and that gives it the adjustment you need to be able to get it lined up with the throttle body perfectly. So that's pretty much it, and you know, we're doing it this way so it's easier to see it and how it's mounted as opposed to doing it in situ on the car itself, because it's very dark and hard to see everything. So there you go. Okay, this is the Halltech Stinger RZ installation video, and I'm going to start off by showing the engine bay prep that we've already done. And you'll notice here the gold foil. This can be aluminum, or you can actually put this gold foil on the airbox itself. The primary function is to provide a little bit of heat barrier to the airbox, which comes pretty close to this radiator hose. So what we do is we actually lift this hose up and push it this way as we zip tie it right here. And what that does is it provides about 1/4 of an inch clearance to the bottom of the airbox. The other thing that we do is this line here. We provide this 5/16 hose, and you'll have to cut off the hose, the hard line that looks something like this. You'll use a box cutter, you'll cut it off here, and you'll cut it off here, and replace that hard plastic with our 5/16 rubber hose. And it's probably a good idea to keep your MAF sensor plug out of the way. And then this line here, this is a short hose. It's too long, so we cut it down by about 5-6 inches off of it. This total length is about 7 inches, and it could be a little bit shorter, but that seems to work for us. So you're going to cut it off here in a section off. Then you plug it back into the T. This line here needs nothing done to it except to zip tie it here, and we zip tie it over here. You want to make sure that this line does not touch the alternator or the pulley, because even if it's just touching it, over time it will rub and probably bring a hole into the radiator system, so you want to keep it away from that. The other thing that we do is this line here. This is your headlight cable. We unplug that from here and here, and what that does, it gives us some clearance at the bottom. So this is just pushed down out of the way. The very end of the airbox will touch the very bottom of this shock right here, but as you close the hood, this will move away from everything. So it makes minor contact, but it doesn't cause any issues. So that's pretty much the entire engine bay preparation, which I guess you could do ahead of time if you wanted to. It's really up to you. But once that's done, then here is the rest of the installation, and I'll take you through it. First of all, if you have the screws in here and at the bottom, you want to take those out. We're no longer using those. These are drill points in the mold, so they'll show up, but your seal that goes around here will cover that up. So once those are out, this becomes a free-floating system, and it makes things a lot nicer in terms of the engine torque. We don't want it rigid, so that's why we did that. Okay, we start out our installation at this point by putting on the connector hose. This is really, you know, it goes on the throttle body. It's the place where you're going to align and put this nose in. I drape this underneath, but if you prefer to put it on top, it'll go on top just fine. We've got the radiator hoses pushed over that way slightly, zip tied together with the gold foil. We've got some zip ties here, but you might want to wait till the end to do that. We've got this piece here. This is your headlight wire harness. We have it disconnected right here from the frame. That just gives us a little better clearance there. And don't forget this. This should have been taken out a long time ago. That's that, you know, dome head bolt that is not needed or necessary with our installation. In fact, if it's there, it will interfere with your installation. Okay, first thing I do is mount it like this. Okay, it's mounted, and you've got bolt number 1. I usually start with the one over here. Now, I would advise you to get a towel and put it underneath everything here in case you drop a bolt or a wrench. It's much easier to pick it up off of a towel than it is having it go down into the abyss. Believe me, I've done it, and my magnetic retriever has been very, very helpful. But once you get these 2 bolts started, I wouldn't torque them down all the way yet. You want to connect your mass airflow sensor. That's just a plug-in, and then don't forget the security tab. This will run underneath your PCB line. It's connected to the bottom of the intake bridge, and then what we want to do is finish tightening these. And I like to do them hand tight toward the end. There's no need to really put too much torque on them. Actually, when I'm not doing this for the camera, I use a power air tool, and it puts these on in about 5 seconds. But I don't think anyone here needs to have that done. Here's kind of the final. Get them tight, not overly tight. And last but not least, the hose clamps themselves. And of course the camera's right in my way, but you get the picture. You're going to put this one on, and here I do use a little cheater tool. This makes it a little bit easier to put on. And once again, what I would do and advise is to tighten these by hand at the end. There's no need to go crazy and over tighten anything. Okay, and this is plugged in. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's the installation in a nutshell. You want to go through and make sure everything is working before you start up. All connections are solid. And then your startup. Okay, the last thing is the radiator vent. That takes 4 little screws. They have a 7mm head. I won't bore you with that right now, but that's pretty much the entire operation, and just have fun and be safe.